Hello, ladies and gentlemen. From the depths of Belarusia, Wargaming brings you this comedy special called the Sandbox. Alright, you guys asked for it, I'm gonna do it. Let's talk about the Sandbox and what the fuck are they doing here. So, a little disclaimer before we begin. This is not a test server. It's not gonna go live in the next patch, hopefully. Hopefully it'll never go live, but I just needed to say you this, that it's very likely that a lot of this shit is never gonna get into the game. Again, hopefully. So Wargaming opens up with a good one here. The reworked system makes hitting weak spots at range more difficult for guns with bad dispersion 0.4 and up, while aim time, armor, and gun stabilization become more important. That's a good one, Wargaming. You funny guys. Alright. So, hitting weak spots at range more difficult. Let's get this, let's just think about this. Like, at what range can we be talking about? Like, let's say 300 meters. Let's take a really good gun, like, on German medium, the Leopard 1. At 300 meters, your chance to hit an IS-7's lower plate already is fucking 30% at best, probably. Depends on the angles, but in general, that's your chance to hit it. And that is one of the most accurate guns in the game. So how the fuck can you say that shooting weak spots at range more difficult? I mean, guns with 0.4 accuracy and up already cannot fucking hit jack shit at any kind of range. Not even talking about weak spots on tanks like, the IS-7 or, anything really. Obviously, you load heat, you don't have to hit weak spots, you have to hit the tanks. But then again, you could have said that. Let's nerf accuracy, so if you don't shoot heat, you can go fuck yourself. That would have been a better way to state this. And alright, maybe your chance to hit an IS-7 weak spot at 300 meters with an E50M is higher. Maybe it's like 60%, maybe something like that. I mean, you have to do testing, I guess, but still, like hitting 60% of your shots at 300 meters is already bad enough, in my opinion, for, sniping weak spots instead of spamming heat at the entire tank. But whatever, let's go further. So, with fewer shots clustered around the center of the aiming circle, it reduces the number of unbelievable shots hitting weak spots without taking full aim or on the move or at great distances. This also increases the overall survivability of well-armored vehicles and the ability to bounce rounds. Alright, well that sentence would make sense if the guns were laser in this game. If you swing your turret around while driving, shoot somebody and hit him every time. Well, you fucking don't. Guess what? You fucking don't. And if you do that, it's you took your chance, you took your shot, and if you miss, you might get really punished for it. If you hit, well, good job for you. You did everything correctly and got rewarded for it. But hey, let's just remove that from the game. Because, this game already has an insanely high skill ceiling when it comes to aiming. Let's just remove that even more. So my dead grandfather could play this game and beat these kids with their reflexes and shit. And again, I'm not picking up people that are playing this game that are generally bad reflexes and so on. But this game is extremely forgiving for people like that already. You play a heavy tank, I mean... Your aiming is way more stable, your driving is way easier, so the game is way easier for you if you play a slow-ass heavy tank, right? But you cannot just we need to, make these guys that are, generally terrible at the game, completely counter people that are great with great reflexes. I mean, they actually try to promote esports in this game, and what the fuck is this? Are you serious, dude? Faster aiming vehicles with decent dispersion cement their role as effective long and mid-range warfare masters. Sure, so you mean Russian mediums, the only tanks that don't have dispersion, so you don't need to sit there and aim for 3 days like you need with any other medium tier 10 in the game. Good job. For less accurate guns that are firing with high dispersion, the chances of successfully snapshotting a target long range decreases from 2% to 0.003%. Good change. Gotta love that one. Okay, so accuracy system changes in general are absolutely idiotic. Borderline retarded. I mean, it feels like Wargaming doesn't even play their game because, whoever has complained, man, accuracy in World of Tanks is too good. We need nerf accuracy in general. Well, maybe some 46% E100 player complained when he was sitting in the middle of a fucking field and people were penning him in the side. I mean, I was angling and shit, and they still pen me in Malinovka on the field? Not fair, man. Not fair. Like, it's idiotic. There's no problem here that, well, there is a problem that accuracy in general RNG is too high in World of Tanks, and what do we do to fix it? We nerf accuracy! Good job, Wargaming. Fucking standing ovation. Alright, let's move on to the thing number 2. The second thing is damage scaling. Revised alpha damage on select heavy tanks and tank destroyers. This designed to fix 2 issues: reduce extensively high alpha damage of high caliber guns, and balance underpowered damage-wise 120mm guns by increasing their alpha damage. Alright, this is a good one. The Jagdpanzer E100, the FE215B183, and the FE405 Stage 2 outperform other vehicles in their tank tier thanks to downright devastating alpha damage. We reduced it to prevent it from one-shotting others. The DPM remains the same thanks to slightly improved reload time. Man, the fucking OP Jagdpanzer. God damn it, finally they're nerfing it. After all these years, finally the broken ass Jagdpanzer that is like, whenever I see Jagdpanzer in the enemy team, I was like, well, we're never gonna win this anyway, so I just quit the battle right there if I see a Jagdpanzer on the enemy team. Like, what the fuck are they even talking about? Again, a problem that is not even in the game. I mean, sure, Jagdpanzers camping bridges can be annoying, Jagdpanzers sitting at the back can be annoying, but by no means they're overpowered compared to other tanks at their tier. Other TDs, maybe, sure. I mean, that's because the other TDs are fucking trash tier. I mean, like, let's be real. Jagdpanzer's like the 3rd worst TD in the game, probably. After like the 155-268. And yet, you know, it's way too powerful with its great mobility. Like, what the fuck are they... What were they smoking when they figured this out? I mean, I could agree that, you know, 183s are just generally the hash, one-shotting people can be, like, changed to an extent, but then again, they have such massive, especially the 405, has such massive drawbacks for having that gun. The 215Bs also has a lot of drawbacks, so I don't really consider any of these tanks overpowered by any means. They're literally among the worst out of tier 10s, definitely in bottom 30% from all the tier 10 tanks, not talking TDs here. All the TDs are in bottom 50% for sure. Apart from the Gorilla. The Gorilla is really good. The Gorilla is one of the better tanks in the game, yet nobody needs to nerf that. What is wrong with that tank just beating mediums in the speed and hitting for 750? That's fine. But the Jagdpanzer needs nerfing. Good job, Wargaming. Again, on top of things, for sure. Well done. Alright, the next joke. The T57 Heavy, the T110E5, the MX50B, the Krangwagen, the deal 400 alpha damage with 120mm gun. It's just 10 points more than the 105s, and a good 40 points less than the 122. To balance these underpowered heavies, we boosted their alpha damage to 440. At the same time, the drum reload time was increased to keep their DPM intact. This has to be like some kind of high-up guy in Wargaming, like the company talking to people that are in charge of Sandbox, and he was like, "Comrade, I play my E5, blets, and I can't win every game. I platoon up with 3 E5, we win only 85%, blets. We need to win 95%. Давайте, buff alpha, please. Давай." I mean, this is so idiotic. I mean, heavy tank balance in general is kind of fine. Like, E5 is, in my opinion, still broken and overpowered, but, you know, whatever. They're making more overpowered and broken tanks with every patch, so it kind of evens out, right? But in what world would a 57 and a 50B and the E5 and the Kragwagen need buffing? Like, it's so idiotic. Like, what the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? And of course, you could do it, like you could buff the alpha damage with nerfing accuracy, nerfing aiming time, but none of it is being done. Apparently, these heavy tanks are underpowered. I mean, just reading that just makes me laugh. Like, what the fuck? How fucking stupid do they have to be? To sum it up, fixing problems that don't exist. Standing ovation, Wargaming. Well done. You're just so good at this. So good. Like, again, completely idiotic changes. I mean, as I said, I could see something done with the TDs, but I think they're balanced fine. To say that Yakpanzi outperforms other vehicles in their tier is just as stupid as saying that E5 is underpowered heavy. Alright, let's move on. Alright, I've been already rambling on for 10 minutes, but here's the last thing. Penetration mechanics. Penetration loss begins at 50 meters. Penetration values of AP and APCR shells begin decreasing at 50 meters instead of 100, and they lose 18 and 23% of their initial values at 500 meters. Changes to the way these rounds lose pen power at range can facilitate action-packed close-range engagements and make armor thickness more relevant. It will be difficult to soften up targets at range. You'll no longer have the penetration needed to get the job done. This then forces you to load gold. To get up close and trade punch, the solid armor paired with smart angling to increase your relative armor thickness will leave you undamaged while your opponent smolders. Okay, so I could say all the things I wanted about this, but it's absolutely irrelevant to really talk about this as long as they don't tell us what they're planning to do with premium ammo, because, you know, if they're doing nothing with premium ammo, then it literally means that load premium or go home, right? I mean, there's nothing really much to it. Pay more money per every round and pen more shots. I mean, it kind of works like that already, but if they nerf it even, if they nerfed AP even more, then you don't really have an option anymore, right? You either do nothing or you load gold. So yeah, if they do change like damage output of premium rounds by like reduce it by 10 or 20%, I think this could be fine. I mean, like you lose some DPM on the mediums at range, but you still could pen things. I mean, it would be actually worse for heavies if they did that even that way, because obviously spamming heat from range is way more consistent than shooting APCR from range. So again, a problem that completely does not exist in World of Tanks. I mean, like there's how many open maps in World of Tanks? Like 5, maybe 7, something like that. Every other map is already tunnels, and medium tanks already struggle on so many maps in the game. Yet, let's, you know, buff heavies more, so Ivan in his IS-7 can drive across the field on Malinovka and not get penned once, because nobody can hit him, and even if they can, they can't pen him. Good shit. Or maybe, you know, this is done to justify artillery in the game. I don't fucking know. It's idiotic as shit as the rest of this stupid-ass Sandbox server. So yeah, overall, good job Wargaming. 1st of April arrived early in Minsk, as we can see. So yeah, I mean, fucking standing ovation. I really, really, really hope that whoever did this gets fired and that none of this ever sees the live server. Ever. That's all I can really say about it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my rant and I'll see you on the next one.